Welcome back to Footballology. So up next, I have Braxton Jones, left tackle out of Southern Utah for you guys. Now, when I watched this man play, the first thing that stood out to me was his footwork. I think he has tremendous footwork. I think he can actually kick slide extremely well. I don't know if it's pro level yet, but it's definitely extremely well. Like it's something that's a good building block for him. And when you see him kick slide against like a speed rusher or really one of those guys that try to take the quick edge, he can set up so quickly, and it really shuts them down. And one thing I love about him, once he gets his hand on some of those smaller guys, and some of those guys just try to be quicker around the edge than he can be, he kind of shuts it down. He completely clamps him up. When you get his hands on someone, it's pretty much a shutdown. Now, where you see him really struggle at the most is with power or speed to power. It was with those guys that can really get into his chest, and sometimes he sits up a little bit higher, so he allows those guys to get into his chest. And what you see is he fails to anchor down to reset himself on the rep, and he kind of loses the rep that way. Other than that, I really don't have a lot of issues with him. He's a guy that I've been mocking around between the third and fifth round, depending on the team needs and everything like that. But for the most part, he's a guy that you're going to get in the middle of this draft class that I think could possibly develop into a solid tackle. Now, does he play left tackle or right tackle with the league? I couldn't honestly tell you. I think every tackle should play left tackle, but some guys are just more suited for the right tackle side. And like I said, good kick slide, great footwork. Just need to learn how to anchor down a little bit more and really start to reset himself on the rep, give himself the best chance to have success. Now, somebody I want to compare him to was Tyron Smith. Now, that's a big comparison because Tyron Smith is probably my favorite left tackle in the league. And we come over to his combine report, or his pro day report, actually, because I don't think he did much at the combine. I think he did, yeah, he did 29 reps at the combine. That was it. But we look at his pro day, he did, he ran a 4.93, which is pretty good. And we come over to Braxton Jones, we see Braxton Jones ran a 4.97. So, fairly comparable there. 6'5", 310. I think Tyron Jones, or Tyron, I keep saying Tyron Jones. Tyron Smith, we'll go to the USC card. He's 6'5", 280. So roughly around the same size too. And then we come back over, we'll look at his pro day. Once again, 10 split is really what I care about the most. His 40-yard dash is cool and all, but his 10 split is really going to harp on. It has a 169. And then we look at Braxton Jones 10, as you can see on the video there. He ran a 177. So once again, he's about, I don't know what Tyron Smith's current playing weight is right now. It's hard to say. He said he came into combine at 307, so it's hard to say what he's playing right now. But I think realistically, we look at Braxton Jones, that was somebody I really want to compare him to. Now, like I said, Tyron Smith is probably one of my favorite tackles in the league right now. Looking at Tyron Smith USC, and this is where I really want to compare him to. When I went to Tyron Smith USC film and looked at everything he did in USC, he didn't lose. Like I like Tyron Smith as the Dallas Cowboy. I was just really like, oh wow, that's a good tackle. Everybody's high on him. Cool, great left tackle. But in USC, you can see why he was a top 10 pick. You can see why he was so highly regarded because that man rarely lost. Great strong kick slide. Now he played right tackle at USC, so that really threw me off. But strong kick slide, didn't lose his rep, learned how to anchor down, played with power. And so that was something that I noticed with Braxton Jones that was really hard for me to really give him that complete comparisons. And that's a high level comparisons. But what it is I think if Braxton Jones can really learn how to anchor down, technique issues, just minor technique issues, learn how to anchor down and really work on his strength and really give himself the best chance to reset on the reps and really give him the best chance to win the rep. Oh yeah, hands down, I think Braxton Jones has that ability to become that starting left tackle kind of caliber guy. I think he's a really strong guy, like footwork. That's just something that I keep harping on because a lot of guys you see coming out have bad footwork, and there's just that bad footwork sets them up for failure right out of the gate. And then one other thing that I would say I would knock Braxton Jones on, sometimes his hands can get a little lazy. He can be a little bit slower with his hands, and I think that's also something that can get him in trouble too. So just like I said, little minute things, little small things that you have to nitpick to really see, like, can this guy have those foundational blocks, especially if we're taking him in the middle or later part of the draft. Does he have foundational blocks that we can build upon? And I think Braxton Jones have a lot of those foundation blocks. He has the size, he has athleticism, he has good footwork, but strength, something we can work on. Anchoring down, technique, we can work on. We can coach that up. We can get him right to the point where he can possibly be a starting tackle for us at the next level. I really like him. I really want to see him go in the league. Everything. Once again, I've said this before. We all want to see our guys go in the first round, right? We all want to be right about that guy. But I really do like Braxton Jones. Let me know what you think about him in the comment section below. Once again, I'm going to put everything I have on him in the description box below and just kind of come up with your own comparisons. Like I said, Tyron Smith is really high because Tyron Smith is my guy. I really like Tyron Smith. I think he's really good. to tackle. But if there's another comparison you see in Braxton Jones and something he could possibly be, or somebody he's similar could possibly be like, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you're not a footballologist yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go and hit that subscribe button today, become a footballologist, and stay safe, football fans.